What it is, what it ain't, what it do, what it don't. Welcome back, Doodads Podcast.
What's up, brother?
Yeah, go to the official Doodads Podcast YouTube channel, like and subscribe, share it, comment, tell us you like us, tell us you don't like us. Some of y'all have, that's okay. We're big boys. Go to Facebook, go to TikTok, Instagram. Find us on all streaming platforms. Also, if you do get a chance and you decide, you know what, I do also want some headgear, we've kind of partnered up with Dad Gang Apparel. You go there and you go to that promo code section when you're checking out. You put in Doodads 14721, DODADS 14721. Get you 10% off. Get you a cool little headpiece. Tell everybody about Doodads. Tonight, this afternoon, this evening, whatever it is, because it's like Tuesday, but it'll be released on Monday, somewhere in the Nexus. We have a very special guest, and I don't know. Yeah, I'm super pumped about this because this was when Brandon and I were talking about doing this. I said, man, there's this guy, and I've seen his stuff, and I love it. And I would love to have him on, and I'm just going to take a shot, and I'm going to reach out to him. And he said, yeah, sounds like a great idea. Shoot me some episodes when you got them, because I was like trying to sell him a book that hadn't been written yet. And we've got Deric Cahill, father, husband, comedian, owner of Wicked Bold Chocolate.
Hell of a beard.
Oh.
Hell of a haircut.
Stop it, guys.
I mean, where do we stop, though?
Yeah, man, we want to thank you for coming on, dude.
Yeah, thanks.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. I was actually just in my head. I was like, I'm pretty sure this is the one where you asked me to be on. And I was like, yeah, dude, get a couple fucking episodes in, and I'll hop on with you. And
yeah,
you confirmed it. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it was like brand new. I was like, I'm not trying to be fucking episode 1, dude, but I'll be episode 6.
Well, it was the best because like I waited and I was like, hey, this is episode 10. Like we've got some episodes. So I sent him like the link tree and everything. And he goes, a man of his word.
Yeah, fucking dude. I love me a good follow-up.
Yeah.
How was your weekend, Brandon?
I was just sitting here trying to remember what we did, and we did a little bit. Nothing really exciting. Jamie's been the boy inside of her, my son, is kicking her ass. He's giving her a real run for her money, so she's dealing with a lot of those symptoms. Julia was a breeze, and this one is just not. So I'm doing my best to be supportive.
Well, yeah, the boy outside of my wife has been kicking her ass as well, and I want to hear more about Landon because I hear all about Landon, and I'm telling you, Aubrey and Landon could go bowling because literally I hear about Deric's son, and I'm like, yeah, that is a 15-year-old kid, like wholeheartedly. So I guess going from there, just a nice little segue about your son. I'm super stalking his kid. That's what's going on. Not really. But no,
go, guys.
How did you, this was the shortest interview ever. How did you, start like little backstory, give you, 5 minutes, just tell us about yourself and how you ended up comedian, husband, kids, that whole thing.
Cool. 5-minute life story, bro. Let's fucking roll. Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna focus on the comedy shit, I started doing comedy like 15 years ago. Right around the time I had Landon with my previous girlfriend, who we will not name because fucking hate her guts. Yeah, dude, I've been in sales like forever, dude. So starting side hustles and shit, and went a few years trying to do the comedy thing, and it was fun. Grinded it out in Southwest Florida, but I ended up getting a job in corporate America when I was like 25, and quit everything. Quit doing comedy. Quit writing, all of it. And, dude, I fucking crushed it, though, all right? Like, I crushed it in corporate America, became a VP of sales for a really big tech company. But then also, with that, realized I hated my fucking life now, right? Like, and it was crazy because I had everything I ever thought I wanted. I was making tons of fucking money, had everything I needed, wanted, brand new truck, piece of shit house. And
It's usually how it goes.
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
yeah, dude. And it just, I felt like I had nothing at the same time, which is so crazy. It's really hard to describe. But it's this big come to Jesus moment of like, oh my God, this is the life I always thought I wanted. I have it, and I don't fucking even remotely want it, which was what was nuts. So, you guys know, you got families and shit. If whatever you do is like your day job income, cool. You hate it, you can't just fucking leave tomorrow. Like, you got bills, mortgages, fucking, whatever you need to get. Mother's Day is coming up.
Thanks for the reminder.
Part of my exit strategy when I realized that is about a year before I left, I started the chocolate company. Me and my wife, just little side hustle, super small scale, like farmers markets and shit. And then kind of just treated it like a seed, right? Like, I didn't invest like a crazy amount of time or money. Just like every now and then we'd make a little bit of progress. And obviously fast forward to today, 5 years later, still fucking sucks. But we're much bigger now. We're in 2,000 retail stores. We do really well on e-commerce and shit. But a year into starting Wicked Bold, I quit corporate America and started doing some side hustle consulting. So with like startups and shit. And along that same time, I started making videos again on the internet. And so that was, 4 years ago, 3.5, 4 years ago. And it's just been this journey of the same thing, dude. Like I mentioned, finding myself in this fucking life that I hated. A big part of that was because I was living a life for other people, right? Like, I was going to work and I was just fucking serving other people. What did they want me to say? How did they want me to act? How did they want me to behave when I'm here? And I was like, this is fucking dumb. So I just quit. I fucking left. And that's what's played into my social media, like, journey, if we want to call it that, is like, I post the shit that I want to post. I'm fucking ungovernable now, bitch. Like, I just do what I want to do. And, a big piece of that was I put my first video that ever went like viral was in 2021. I was returning a car to Enterprise. And it was cool. Super, like, it popped me to like 100,000 followers on TikTok. But I realized, I was like, bitch, I'm like 30 years old. Like, I'm not going to go around answering phones at companies, like, for fucking content. How would I even look my children in the face? What does daddy do for work? Oh, I fucking answer phones satirically. So I just fucking said, I was like, oh, fuck it. I'm not going to do that anymore. And just kept going down the line, posting videos every day of just shit that I wanted to talk about. And, fast forward to today and, I'm doing the thing. I got fucking TikTok and Instagram on a comedy tour. It's fucking crazy, dude. But to get real, it really all started by being like, yo, fuck this. Like, I got to make a change in my life. And I didn't know what it was going to look like. But if I never did it, I would have never gotten, to where I am right now, which is a pretty cool place, in my opinion. Time.
That's what's up. Some of the stuff we're like, I think about, especially comedians, and, when you hear, I mean, I just think of some of the genius that you hear from comedy, and it's a take on life. It's a perspective that obviously a lot of us don't always see. And so a comedian is the ability to be a storyteller from a perspective that we don't get. And I always, when I hear about, whether it was Robin Williams, Dave Chappelle, a lot of these people, you go and you hear, there's a lot of like Kevin Hart, they were the class clown, or that was maybe they found a way to kind of maybe quiet whatever they had going on at home or whatever. Like, where did you first find comedy or just making people laugh, or found that as something that you really loved or found excitement from?
Good, dude. Dope question. I really don't think I've ever like analyzed myself, because I'd probably have to unpack a lot of incredible emotional trauma to fuck with. But I remember back in 8th grade, I did a comedic like master of ceremonies for our our talent show, which was hilarious because I was so fucking like introverted and shy back then. But I still got on stage and I like did all this improv shit for my middle school. I'm a middle child, so that probably also explains a smidge of it. But my parents are also drug addicts, which probably explains the rest of it. So I think there's always been this quest for like validation, and finding people to fucking love me a little bit is probably a little piece of it. So I think when you wrap all that shit together from a really young age, I loved people's attention. And the way that I found it, thankfully, wasn't by like fucking killing cats and shit. I found it by making people laugh. But I remember being like, probably right around that 8th grade, like 12, 13, 14, I found Robin Williams stand-up on the early days of the internet, and just remember being like, this is fucking hilarious. And again, dude, I have never analyzed it to be like, oh, and that was the day I decided to become a stand-up comedian, because I didn't get on stage for another, like 6 years. But probably just all of that wrapped up with a bow on it is what's kind of nudged me into this being kind of like what I do.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite comedy bits is Robin Williams talking about the creation of golf.
Oh,
dude, that's
It's a fucking stroke.
It's absolute gold. 18 times.
Yeah.
That's interesting because, I feel like that like inherent whatever desire it is for the attention or to make people laugh or whatever, like, and the brief account of your childhood and growing up is very different from mine, and I'm by no means a comedian, even though some may call me an amateur comedian. That's I have the same thing, and that's something that like I walk into a room and my first thought is usually nobody here likes me. What can I do to make them like me? And so I try to make them laugh or tell funny stories or make a bunch of wild shit up or whatever. And I'm curious how that has like we have some whatever just to segue a little bit, but like how has that as a dad, how has that played into like you have how many kids? 3. So would you say you are the funny dad of the group? Like, do you find yourself at times struggling with like, this is something I struggle with like taking yourself seriously as a dad because you are a funny person and that's what you do for a living? Like, is that something, or do you have that ability to like switch on and off? Like, I'm not the fucking funny guy anymore. Right now I'm being dad and you need to, I'm curious about that.
No, I hear what you're saying, dude. First, I think the way to answer that is I don't look at it like a switch. I look at it like, and this is something I've had to find about myself too. So just some pretext is like, I am who I am in every setting that I am in. So I think that like what you said about like you walk into, and I'm sure you being facetious a little bit, but like everyone hates me. How can I be funny? I think that there's a healthy pursuit. Or not pursuit, but like a healthy, display of humor. And then there's like the wrong reasons, right? And again, I'm not projecting this onto you at all.
No.
But I know like there have been times in my past where I would try to be funny because I was trying to be fucking funny, right? Like I needed something. I needed, whatever the fuck it was. But the evolution that I've had, and this is a lot of like self-awareness and like dead ass dude, like analyzing who I am, that has put me in a position now that thinking about my intent and shit isn't the first thing I'm doing anymore. So I do think I'm a funny dad, but I also know that I am a loving dad and a caring dad and a responsible dad. So I'm trying to, it's not like it's not like there's any like bipolar moments where I'm like, ha, shut your fucking mouth now. But like, I think that my kids have a healthy, hopefully, image of me that I can fuck around, but also I can fuck around. When it's time to be serious, it's not like I have to like take a mask off and be like, all right, hey, I know that I'm a funny guy, but I'm also your dad. It's like, I am their dad and I am a funny guy. And, you just gotta get a fucking, whatever the fucking temperature of the room is saying.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. And it's, I talk a lot about self-awareness and all that. And we talk a lot about, definitely sometimes your childhood, things you experience, mine, maybe closer to some of the stuff you might have experienced, not to the depths, I think, but definitely I took a lot of my relationship with my dad and was like, all right, I'm 86 and that I'm 80, I'm not, this will never take place in my home. and you try to incorporate those things. And you said ungovernable earlier, and I don't know that there is a more articulate word to use in the context of like with my kids, because the thing that really turned me on to Deric was like,
hell yeah,
was literally, no, I mean, I'm doing what most married couples are doing, right? I'm laying in the bed and I'm scrolling on my phone, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm on the talk and I come across this guy who apparently somebody really did not like a previous video, and he unabashedly, without any like no cut, no filter whatsoever, was just like, this is what I think of you. This is how my family is, and it's mine. Like, it was very much like, this is my family. These are my kids. Like, I know who I am, and I am totally comfortable with who I am. So you can go get fucked, right? Like, I could really care less what you think, but appreciate you just keeping to grow my attention, like,
yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, man, like that's the energy I want. That's what I want with my kids. And, we talked about that last week with like music and stuff. It's, I want my kids to know who I am. I don't want to be kind of off limits about like some of the stuff that makes me tick, so I want them to hear the music I listen to. I want us to, one of the things I always said with Aubrey, I always put things on her. Like, when can I have a cell phone? When do you think I'll be responsible enough to have a cell phone? I'm like, I don't know. When do you think you'll be responsible enough to have a cell phone?
Oh, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
You tell me.
Yeah, well, yeah. And, I always say, like, when you can use, any sort of, like, expletive in a grammatically correct sense, then you can start using them. Like, that's like, I want self-awareness and all that, and that ungovernable, like, that was, like, for me, the perfect word to use, because I think you are. I think 100% you are somebody who is more than comfortable with saying, this is who I am, and I bring with me everything from when I was a kid, to now. I bring with me, my marriage, my kids, my career, my desires, my hopes, all this, because I'm not showing up as a character. There is no avatar.
I think that's a really good one. I think another piece of it, dude, and again, I haven't really unpacked even this word, but it's also like letting go of anything like that would bring shame. Right? Like things about, my upbringing or, fucking anything is like, I'm just not ashamed to be me anymore. And I think that I went through a period of time where like shame was a piece of who I was. Like I just wasn't good enough or whatever the fuck it was, man. And that's a shitty feeling to have. So, and again, it isn't a switch, right. Like that's the thing. It's like, it's a great place for me to be right now, but it's also like the person talking that fucking has been on this road for like 5 years straight of like breaking and dismantling this fucking character that I thought I had to be a grown up. So that's the journey.
Yeah, you made it, because that was the thing, and that was when I reached out to you, and you made a video talking about your parents, and I was like, hey, I have experience, may or may not have been a complete lush and destructive person in my life and cleaned it up a little bit. But like, I appreciate you wanting to take that step to like, whatever, like, break the cycle, whatever kind of wording you want to put it. But like trying to be, like I said, like everything.
It'd be funny if I just like did a huge line of code right now. It's like, what were you saying?
Let me get my spoon. But no, seriously, like, cause you do a good job of saying, I think how some people would say is like, the person that I needed, that's what I want to be. I want to be that person that I need, and that's what I want to be with my kids. And I think it's really rad. But what then on the other side of it is your career and your social media presence and all that, which is so hilarious, is that you really are, just unreservedly you. And I love it. I think it's great. Like his, the mantra of the parent, get fucked, stay fucked. Like it's the life we live as parents. And, DIY, like it just, it never ends. It's the worst thing in the world. Yeah. The American dream, own a home,
I think I'm just the other side of perfection, right? Like, you get, and dude, again, man, this word shame is going to come up. I think parents feel shame about the way they're raising their kids. I yelled today or whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'm not good enough. And then they get on social media, and social media is perfection. It's like, oh, look at this mom over here fucking hand battering pancakes in the fucking yard. It's like, oh, I'm such a fucking cunt, man. And or you know, or it's like, or you get these like perfect, like, oh, look at our beautiful family in our fucking mansion in Utah. It's like, all right, bitch, but like, how many wives does your husband have that you're not showing, kind of thing. And then I get on, and I'm just like, yo, this sucks dick. And everyone's like, oh my God, it does. And it like gives another perspective that I don't think is frequently shared, which is, we're all just doing our fucking best, bro, and this shit sucks.
Mm-hmm. That dude, I'm happy you mentioned
You talked
that.
about the bounce houses and seeing
the you know, and like I get it, I do, but like I already, because I'm still in, I don't want to say I'm in a shame phase, but like I'm absolutely still subconsciously, like at times, like comparing what I do with my kids versus what my friends are doing. With most of my friends, we all have kids around the same age. So like naturally I'm like, well, what are they doing? They're doing this better. But I'm, you know, and I'm trying to grow, and I think I am in the process of growing past that. But man, I'll get on social media and see, you know, when you're a husband and you know, and making, you know, bluey pancakes at 7 o'clock in the morning, or building bounce houses and freaking outdoor saunas and stuff. And I'm like, you know, and part of this for me of us doing this was like,
want an outdoor sauna.
I would love an outdoor sauna too, but like you said,
how's that
like,
shed coming?
Yeah, but it's just hard because like I feel like that while that may be some people's truth and took a lot of work to get to that point, it's not really my truth, and I don't think it's really Carl's truth, and it's not a lot of our truths, you know. And so like the just like the other side, like you said, of you know, it's not fucking glitter and rainbows every day, and it's not always easy. And I was laughing. You've got a video you did about when your wife's reaction in the car over a tree, and it was like this gut-wrenching reaction, whatever. And it's just funny because that's so much more relatable to me than just like on a Tuesday waking up at 8:30 with, you know, my Ugg slippers and Lululemon and making pancakes on the Blackstone. Like that's, I have to go to work, you know, someone's got to pay for the Blackstone. And
You want some-
fucking gross, dude. Jobs.
that's what I'm saying.
You want some
know?
Lululemons?
Dude, if you want to hook me
I
with
got
some
you.
Lululemon sweats, my
I got you,
birthday,
sweetheart.
my birthday was in
Well,
January.
dude, there's. We gonna get fucking deep, bro.
Let's do
Let's get deep.
Because I think, dude, across parenting, work, whatever it is, man, I think the biggest gift people can give themselves is feeling like they're enough, right? Dude, it's never curable, right? Like, there's, of course, like, dude, I just fucking was gone for 5 days on the road doing comedy. You don't think I had a couple glimmers where I was remembering, like, the day before I left, I was like, oh, why didn't I, like, take my kids to the park for an extra hour? Or why don't I take them to the museum more frequently than I do? But then you get home and it's like, oh, because you're fucking assholes. That's why. That's why. It's like being happy is a here. It's not a then, and it never will be a then, right? Like I've just gotten good at like letting that be a fleeting thought. Like when that stuff pops into your head, it's like the devil coming to try to fucking creep up on you, dude. And I'm not very religious, so this devil's a huge prick for me to say him out loud. It's like it's that brain that is trying to like collapse your growth. It's like you're on this journey of like whatever it is, self-love, fucking whatever, and then there's that little piece. It's like, nah, dude, you know you're a piece of shit. You're not good, dude. No, if you were good, you would have fucking given her the ice cream before bed, but you're not. You're a bitch. And even then, it's like, but why didn't I give her the ice cream? Why the fuck? What the fuck does that even matter? She's fucking 7 years old. She can't have ice cream before dinner. And then, you know, I've gotten really good at just telling that voice to shut its fucking mouth, dude. We don't hit our kids. We don't hit our kids. Y'all can do whatever the fuck you crazy people want to do. But it's like going through that checklist. It's like, yo, I don't do drugs. I don't get fucking hammered at home. I'm not fucking hitting my kids. They eat. I don't lock them in chains. And if they fucking do wrong things, like that fucking crazy lady Ruby Frankie, it's like, we're doing all right, man. And living in that, especially like when you're looking at friends and shit, like, am I enough? It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. Yes, you're enough, bitch.
Yeah.
So I feel like I take on the burden for the internet by almost being a piece of shit on purpose, satirically, and only the real people. Like, I love when I get little idiots in the comments like, why didn't you just, like, pick him up from school? It's like, bitch, I did pick him up, you fucking idiot. It's always the non-children having that are like, they just take everything I say 100% serious.
I used to follow you, but no longer now.
Like, I give a fuck, bitch.
What I do want to that's another little point is that life of being on the road. You said recently here in the last year, so you decided like, hey, I'm gonna get back on the road. I'm gonna go do this, and you've been doing it pretty heavy now. We talked about this earlier in some of our first episodes. I grew up with a dad who was working a lot and was always out of town and all that, but his love and his passion was writing.
Yeah.
And, my whole thought was, why didn't you just like write? And he was like, well, because we had to pay the bills. And I was like, yeah, we were living in squalor regardless, but it would have been a much happier household if you'd have done what made you happy. So like, what is that like, trying to fulfill the thing that makes you like super happy, like that thing that sets your soul on fire, but also like, I'm the same. Like my kids are everything to me, and it's just like I'm always questioning everything.
My priorities it kind of a little bit goes back to the money thing where I talked about like, I was making all this fucking money and, did I say that? I made a lot of fucking money. Sorry, I was crushing it. But I used to look at money like I could never get enough of it. It didn't matter how many promotions I got, how many bonuses I got, how many raises I got. I never felt like, oh my God, I made it. It was just more money to have. And I felt like it was always going in this like mystery bag. Like, oh good, I made an extra 10 grand. Let's put it over here. But in retrospect, there was literally no number in existence that would have made me feel any different or better. It was just the quest for more. And recently, probably the last like 2 years, and again, it was a journey, I flipped that. So instead of looking at how much money do I need, I look at how little money do I need. And it's always definable. Like literally, it's like I was fucking looking at money like, what am I going to buy? A yacht, bitch? Like, what am I saving for? Yeah. All I ever do is the shit we do. I pay my mortgage, our bills. We like to go out to eat a couple times a month. We go to museums. Doesn't cost a lot of fucking money to do that. So I just flipped it, dude. So now like when I look at, there's been a couple months like where we're a little short from an income perspective, but like I have all these different things that make me money now. And that's the cool part. Like Wicked Bold Chocolate. Cool. Maybe this month I made $1,000. TikTok, cool. Maybe I made 3. Instagram paid me 1. Maybe some fucking dumb brand deal paid me 2. It always pieces together. And now it's like, if I make $5,000, and let's say what I need is $5,500, it's like it's so much easier to go find $500 than it is back when I used to think it's like, oh, I need 50, or 30, or 10, or whatever it is. So I think that's a big thing for me, because when I'm looking at this road tour, I said no already. Like my agent obviously would work me to fucking death so he could get paid. But I'm not willing to work to death anymore because I don't want to sacrifice time with my kids just to go make more money. Because I don't need more money right now. I got enough money. And if I can do every other weekend shows and make 10 grand, let's call it, that's fucking plenty of money for me, bro. And if I can map that out over a few months, that's plenty of fucking money, dude. And then also, let's put a period there. I make money selling chocolate. I make money on social media. I make money on merch. I make money on fucking Cameo. I make money selling my book. Very little, but I make the fucking money, bro. Okay, I make the fucking money. I sell stickers. So it's like, and again, it sounds dope. I fucking love that I can even say that shit out loud. But you're talking about 5 fucking years of building this shit that I have these little small but revenue streams that add me up to the big month. It's just not worth it to me anymore. I don't want to go fucking work on the road. I know what I want, and I want my fucking kids to come over for dinner when they're 20 years old. I don't want my kids to fucking move away and be like, oh yeah, dad, he's a comedian. He fucking has a lot of money. It's like, go fuck yourself, dude. I just trust that I'm going to go get my money. Like, it's going to come. If I keep doing the shit that I love doing, it will come. I'm in an industry where the money comes if I'm good enough. So it keeps me humble and it keeps me fucking working hard to go get that big payday. Maybe some bitch will write me a fucking book deal or something. Maybe some fucking TV show will be like, yo, Deric, we need you. Here's fucking $200,000. Be like, good, fucking, do I have to like suck a dick for it? 'Cause I will. But dude, to go back to what you said about your dad, look at writing just like a side hustle. Do you know how many fucking people talk themselves out of doing it before they even fucking pick up a pen, dude?
Mm-hmm.
And it sure as shit isn't because it's going to take too much time. It's that they fast forward. Why would your dad write? He's not going to be a famous writer. He's never going to make money writing. No, in his head, I fucking guarantee it. Whatever he did, driving trucks, whatever the fuck he did, paid the bills. He doesn't have time to write. And it's the biggest load of bullshit ever, dude. I have a buddy that I literally talk shit to all the time because he does kind of the same thing. He's a really talented writer. He does a mortgage job, so he's pretty much fucking unemployed like all the time. And he talks about how he doesn't have time to write. It's like, bitch, get a fucking pencil and write your fucking thoughts down, bro. Like, write it or get, whatever, type it up. But the next thing out of his mouth, he's like, oh, I want to make money doing it. I'm like, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons, you fucking cunt. Because the comedy that I do, the videos that I make, I never started because I wanted to make money. I started because I literally couldn't live without it anymore. I physically couldn't fucking live without writing and doing some semblance of comedy. Like, I couldn't be alive without it. So now that I make money doing it, it's just like, oh, this is cool. I have people message me, Deric, how do I become an influencer? It's like, I have no fucking idea, bitch. Like, I just tell funny stories, and thankfully we have some social media apps that pay money for them. That's it.
That's what's up, man.
So I don't know if there was a fucking answer in there for you guys, but
I appreciate it.
It's like I just know my priorities now. Like, my number one thing is my kids and my wife. I want to be with my family, and I'm, with the exception of a relatively heavy April and May, where I am getting my bag. I'm never gonna fucking do this heavy again, dude. I'm gonna go every other weekend maximum.
That's interesting because those are. I mean, it's all just interesting to hear from somebody who has put a lot of time and effort and is now at a point of having success with it. Because I mean, that's like this, like this whole podcast thing was like, in my mind, a stupid idea that nobody wanted to let but like in my mind I did exactly what you just did. Was at first it was, well, it's not going to be Joe Rogan, so what's the point of even doing it? Like, it's not going to be this, so what's the point of even doing it? And thankfully people around were like, no, I think we should give it a try. And it has it's become more about just like getting to hang out with Carl at least once a week and talk about what we got going on and what we think about and cool stuff coming out of it. And like the amount of times that I get to go home during the week after our conversations and like, try to be a little bit of a better dad, or like also maybe do some dumb things so I can have stories to tell the next week or whatever the case is, but it's just been a cool process that I actually
dude, fuck,
like doing.
Even if this is only whatever it's gonna be is you and your fucking buddy get to chill for a couple hours a day once a week, how fucking dope is that?
Yeah.
Right.
And if that's always the intent and doesn't, then if success is meant to come for you guys, it's going to come, because I truly don't think the universe lets you not do the shit that you're destined to do if you're out there fucking trying to do it.
Yeah.
It might not be this fucking podcast, right? Maybe it's the next podcast. Maybe it's fucking 3 podcasts from now, right? Maybe it's some fucking guest you bring on, and 3 fucking years later, they're like, hey, dude, I'd love to have you as a guest on my pod, blah, 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 whatever. There's this quote, when I worked at Verizon selling phones fucking forever ago, the fucking lamest place that I'd ever think to get like a life-inspiring quote. The trainer said, motion causes motion. And that stuck with me forever, because people that live a fucking stagnant life, right? Like, they get up, they go to work, they take no risks, they go home, they're scared, they pay their bills, da-da-da-da-da. They're not making shit happen outside of their little bubble, dude. But when you make a splash, you introduce the podcast, that's a little fucking splash, dude. There are little ripples that are going throughout the universe that you have created that you have no fucking idea how they're ever going to come back to you. That's the way I look at this. If I didn't make a huge fucking splash and quit my corporate job, I would have never gotten the balls to just start talking shit on the internet, because what if my boss found me? I can't risk losing a $250,000 a year job. But when I say fuck the job, for me anymore, I fucking created ripples, dude, and then I keep fucking making them by saying cunt on the internet every time.
It's like I always think of the actor studio, and they James Lipton, he says, what's your favorite curse word? And cunt. It's literally
100%. I love that word.
I want to move to England and go be a hooligan just so I can say cunt. But and I guess as we're starting to close up, like that was kind of the idea. Like with my dad, I talk about that and some of those experiences is that, you talk about happiness and what you're not willing to sacrifice being, time with your kids or whatever. But like, that's the reality, right? Like, I don't think ever that I came into this ever wanting to make money. I had an idea. Brandon had an idea. We both knew Ken, who's the producer, and he was like, y'all should hook up. And we had coffee, and it was like, yeah, man, let's just talk about how maybe ass backwards fatherhood is in the 21st century. And maybe we could talk about maybe some things like, we don't spank our kids, we don't like, and it's one of those things like,
how the fuck can you hit a child? Like, listen, I used to spank Landon when he was like 3, but that was before I learned the error of my ways. Okay. He got like a good, maybe 5 or 6 butt spankings, but now I'm a soft little bitch now. Now I'm like, why am I fighting a child? Why am I letting a child be so angry I'm gonna spank their butt cheeks, dude? And what the fuck is wrong with you?
But like, it's those things like, and we do, and Brandon and I both also have like very, there are some things about us that are very diverse, and we have a lot of, there is a good fluid conversation, but it's just an opportunity for us to be self-aware, be honest, and say, hey, like we both have these histories, these childhoods, and now here we are, 32, 43, both with kids and a wife and a home, and just trying to figure out like how do we do this a little bit differently than what we got? How do we maybe try to be a little bit better than what we got? And I just wanted to say, I guess kind of as we're wrapping up, like, thank you for always being genuine. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm serious, man. Like dude, you're absolutely right. You get on social media and, I mean, man, you can get disappointed real quick. Like when you see somebody present themselves a certain way and then you either meet them or you see them in a different light and you're like, man, what a jip, Do you
know the fucking power that I feel by being myself all the time? Like, I think it's so overlooked. It's like you gotta put on some fucking front for yourself, no matter where you go. It's like, because no one has power over you if you are just fucking you, dude. Like the way I show up is like, I don't give a fuck if you're my nana, if you're my neighbor, if you're the fucking, the preacher that goes to, I don't give a fuck, dude. This is how I talk. This is how I am. This is who I am. And if you don't like me, fucking cool, dude. There's like 1,000,000,000 people on the planet, motherfucker. I don't need you. You don't need me.
Right.
And then the other thing, man, is like, when you do things because you love it, like you guys getting here, just shoot the shit again, man. Like I'm just all about being ungovernable, bro. Like I think that you pointing that out, like it's just the way I look at this comedy tour is, and I've said this shit to my wife, if this is all it ever is, this tour, and I never do it again, how fucking cool is this gonna be to say, if I get to be an old man, if I get the chance to be an old man, I'll be able to be like, yeah, do you remember the time I fucking toured the country, little shithead? Like, how fucking cool is that? And it just, it takes all the pressure, like the performance pressure off. Like when I get on and post a video, it's like, I'm not doing it for any like thing. I'm just doing it because it's like, it's fucking Tuesday. I'm gonna make a video that I wanna make. And if I go do a comedy show, I just always want it to be because I made the decision to do it, which I know is like such a privilege to be in, like to do this. But it's also like, I look back at pretty much a fucking life of working towards this, of going, the biggest thing, bro, is I've been really good at, not on purpose, but as I look back, when I'm on a wrong road, I stop, I'm like, oh my God, this fucking road looks like shit. And I find a new road. I think a lot of people stay on that road and like panic drive while they try to find like, oh my God, where am I going to go? It's like, I literally halt. I'm like, I don't fucking like this road anymore, and I don't want to be cut dead on this motherfucker. And I will like drive through bushes and shit, tall grass, and fucking hit your ball. It's like I will find the road for me. And dude, sometimes there's no road. And it's scary as fuck, bro. Like, I don't know if I recognize it in the moment, But definitely when I find a road, I'm like, oh my God, that wasn't a street at all. I was just fucking driving on it. But think about how many fucking shortcuts and just at bats, dude. I give myself to go find the shit that I do love. And then also, of course, I need to feed my family. I need to find the shit that makes money too. But I'll tell you what, dude, ever since I started making those decisions, the money has come. And I'm not in like that secret way, like, oh, if you fucking will it, it will come into your mailbox. The more I let go, the more opportunities are coming, which is fucking bananas to me, because I used to be someone that would try to control all of it. Like, I needed to know when my next promotion was going to come up. I would stress about it. I needed to have that next thing lined up. And now, dude, it's like, three different production companies have called me because they want to try to pitch this fucking DIY show to networks. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, are you fucking shitting my dick right now? Like, these motherfuckers are just calling me, like emailing me and hitting me up. The comedy tour. I would have never done this by myself. That's like hubris to me as a comedian. Like, I'd never headline. I'm going to go book myself a tour. A club in Phoenix and San Diego randomly, out of the fucking blue, messaged me back in October, and they were like, we'd love you to come headline at our club in February. I was like, okay, bitch. And I started writing my set. It's like, the more I'm on the right road, the more like shit is coming to me, which is just and I feel out of my element a little bit, because it's like a little bit of me is like, should I be trying to like take advantage of anything here? Should I be like trying to make things work? But it's like, no, at least not right now. Maybe a year from now, Deric should try to maybe get like someone to like, I'm dumb, bro. Like, okay, like I'm smart, but I'm dumb. Maybe I could get a manager, something. But I'm in this moment too where it's like, I'm just gonna trust that I'm doing the right thing. I'm making money. I'm fucking happy as shit for the most part, right? Like, not 100% of the time. I have my fucking downs, bro. Okay, I was just on the road for 5 days. I fucking cried twice like a fucking bitch by myself on the road. Okay, I cry sometimes.
That's okay.
But it's like, when I zoom out, man, I can't imagine a better life to be living than I am right now. And I wish I would have fucking known that 7 years ago and 10 years ago. Because at every stage, that's all it takes, I think, to start making the right decisions. It's just like accepting the position you're in, and just fucking one step at a time. And now I got fucking bitches calling me, trying to be like, yo, I want to give you $1 million. It's like,
sure.
Okay, I'll take it.
Good.
You want to ask him the
that
question?
one I was putting in the universe. I do hope someone calls me and offers me $1 million soon.
Well, that would be pretty cool. Well, so in closing, I guess, so we don't take up your whole night.
I got a few more minutes, so.
Well, we'll use those minutes to answer this question. So one of the things that we like to ask each other from time to time, the guests that we've had come on, you know, in keeping with the podcast and what we're trying to do is just however you want to answer it, whether it's something tomorrow or in the next 6 months or whatever. What would you suggest dads do? What would be your, hey, if you're not doing this, do this, or if you are doing this, keep doing this, however you find fit to answer that question. For the 400 people.
Yeah, no, that's a good question, dude. I'm just gonna go right off the top of the head. There was two things that came to mind. Two things popped into my head. One of them is I'm gonna actually write them down, because usually when I say two things, I'll dive into the first and then I'll fucking forget the second thing.
Samesies.
So number one, and this isn't gonna be shocking by any means, say sorry. Which I know can sometimes be really fucking hard, but I love being vulnerable with my kids enough that if I fuck up, I can go and tell them I fucked up. Like, there's no, I don't have like a what's that word that I'm looking for? Like a pride issue. Dad's not always fucking right, bro, and I think that's like really important to show your kids. Like, I still raise my voice. That's probably like my one toxic trait as a dad. Still, is like I get that dad voice. And sometimes it's just not warranted. You know, sometimes I'm like overstimulated or like something else. It's usually something else is on my mind. Like I'm thinking about like something to do with comedy or like what's my next video going to be. And I'm in there and like, they're like, bah, 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 bah. And I'm like, I lose my patience a little bit, but I'm really fucking good with apologizing and being honest with my apology. Be like, hey, baby girl, I'm sorry. I was thinking about this, and it was really important to me, and I snapped at you, and I shouldn't have done that. And it makes me feel like a fucking way better dad. It definitely outweighs how bad I felt that I raised my voice. So that's one. And then the second, this one actually is probably going to be one of my favorites. Is what's your like life's mission for your family? Like, and the example to that is that when I first met my wife, 10 years ago, she has this big Italian family on her dad's side, and we'd always drive up to Orlando and have, like Thanksgiving or whatever, like a Christmas something at the grandma's house. And she had this massive fucking painting in like the dining room, totally unrelated to anything of meaning. It's like an image of a bay with like naked women on ships, like native women, probably being like fucking stolen from their lands. And they had it painted for that wall. Like it was hand painted, fucking massive, bro. Like we're talking like, I think it's like 15 feet long. It's fucking huge. A couple years ago, her grandma passed away, and that painting came up. Someone was like, does anyone want this? And no one was jumping at it. I was like, are you fucking shitting me? Because to me, that painting meant family, like coming together. Like every time we went up there for Thanksgiving, the table's full, and everyone would always talk about that painting. So I was like, and plus it's massive. It's like, who the fuck can fit that shit in their house? We have this huge wall over our TV, and I was like, I want that painting. And I got it, and it's hanging up above my TV, and I don't look at it every single day, but what it means to me, like what it reminds me of, is what do I want my family to look like in the future? Like, what's the most important thing to me about raising my family? And it's that when my kids are older and dating and married and have their own kids, I want them to want to come to our house for those things. Like whether it's family dinners or Thanksgivings, like I want our house to be that gathering place, and it helps influence some of my daily and weekly, monthly like decisions of like, all right, because if I want my fucking kids to do that, I can't be a piece of shit because they're not going to want to come see me. And it's a good reminder of what that means to me. And it'd be cool. I would encourage you guys to try to find like, what is that future thing that you want to hold on to that can give you those daily reminders of what it's all about? Because it's really easy to get lost in the minutia. It's easy to be like, fuck the park, bitch. And sometimes that can bring me anyways back to reality.
And that's what's up. Well, man, God, I wish there was, I wish we had more time. Seriously. Want to thank y'all for tuning in. You can catch Deric Las Vegas May 3rd, May 4th. He's going to be in Denver May 5th. Yeah, I see that. Spokane, Washington, May 8th. Seattle, Washington, May 9th. Portland, Oregon, May 11th. Kansas City on the 15th. Omaha, Nebraska. Shout out Omaha, man.
Let's go.
16th. 22nd, Fort Wayne, Indiana. 23rd in Louisville. June 5th in Tulsa, and the 6th in Oklahoma City. In July, and the 27th, he's in Naples. Look him up. Look under boldfam on TikTok. Look up Deric Cahill in Instagram. Just go find him, man. Legit, a treat. You are truly a genuine individual, man.
That was fun.
Appreciate this, dude. Yeah, I'm glad you followed up with me, man.
For sure.
Good luck in doing this shit, man. Definitely stick with it. If it's the shit, fucking have a beer or something. I don't know if you guys drink, but I appreciate you guys having me, man. This was super cool.
Yeah, thank you,
brother.
man, for sure. Safe travels.
Doodads Podcast on YouTube. Check out that channel. Like, subscribe, share it. Go to Instagram. Go to Facebook. Go to Spotify. Go all the places and look us up. Give us a shout. Give us a share. Give us a like. Hit the dinger. Hit the bell. Man. Love you, brother.
Love you too, dude.
I guess I'll go fuck myself. Cool. All right, I'm out of here.
We love you also.
All right. Have a good night, guys. Thanks again for having me.
Thanks, man.